Chapter 71 I will change it immediately. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Zhou Daoqing handed the fishing work to Lin Yuan, and he took advantage of the last period of time to replenish the array disk inventory again. After returning to the underground cave, Zhou Daoqing checked the various materials in the warehouse. Thanks to the cooperation with the Spirit Snake sect, a lot of high-quality materials have been obtained recently, which can be used as the core materials of the array. For example, Jin Gu Tai Shi, giant scale bamboo, fire lang shi, and the yellow thorn vine planted by himself. Jin Gu Tai Shi is the main material of Golden Sword Array. The properties of the two are extremely consistent. The quality of the array refined is very high, and even the success rate is improved. Fire lang shi can be used to refine Flame Array Disc, which can be combined with the materials of Golden Sword Array Disc, to refine a more powerful Gold Split Array Disc. Therefore, Zhou Daoqing piled the Fire Lang Shi and Jin Gu Tai Shi together, and after refining, 100 kilograms of raw ore were refined into more than 10 kilograms of concentrate. This amount can probably make 3 sets of Gold Split Array. The number of yellow thorn vines is the largest. Xuanhuan harvested half of the yellow thorn vines, about 60 vines. Each set of Golden Gu vine formation requires about 10 vines, so about 6 sets of arrays can be refined. However, the refining of Golden Gu vine formation also requires gold and iron, which conflicts with gold splitting formation, which makes Zhou Daoqing a little distressed. To be honest, the power of thorn vine formation is more than double that of Golden Gu vine formation. If there is no other way, Zhou Daoqing naturally hopes to refine a more powerful Golden Gu vine formation. Finally, after weighing, Zhou Daoqing decided to refine 1 set of gold splitting formation, and 2 sets of Golden Gu vine formation. Although the gold splitting formation is more powerful, its controllability is too poor, and its service life is also very short. The cost performance is far less than that of Golden Gu vine formation. Only a few sets need to be kept as a backup. On the contrary, the Golden Vine formation performed very stably in all aspects and greatly improved the overall strength. Whether it was attacking or defending, or even restraining the enemy, it performed very well. Finally, Zhou Daoqing looked at the 20 giant scale bamboos and fell into deep thought for a while. In the formation diagram inherited from the formation, there was no formation specifically arranged using giant scale bamboo. The only related, bamboo forest formation, was just a first-level low-grade defense formation, and its power was too low. After thinking for a long time, Zhou Daoqing decided to give up the giant-scale bamboo for the time being, and it would not be too late to use it again when there was a better idea in the future. In the next 10 days, Zhou Daoqing devoted himself to the refining of the formation, almost to the extent of day and night, and his spiritual energy was exhausted many times. The high concentration of the spirit, coupled with the continuous squeezing of spiritual energy, also brought Zhou Daoqing an unexpected surprise. After refining the splitting gold formation plate, his strength successfully reached the peak of the 7th level of qi refining. The recovered spiritual energy made Zhou Daoqing's refining speed faster again, and at the same time, his understanding of the first-level medium-grade array formation became deeper in the process. It took more than 20 days in total for Zhou Daoqing to refine a set of splitting gold array plate, and 2 sets of golden vine array plate, and he was confident again. The ability to complete the manufacturing in such a short time was also due to the improvement of strength and the support of the huge spiritual energy of Wu-Tu Kun Yugong. The condensed Wu-Tu spiritual energy in the body is comparable to the mana of the 9th level qi refining strongman, and even in terms of defense and durability, it is stronger than the 9th level qi refining. This is equivalent to a 9th level qi refining strongman refining a first-level medium-grade array plate. The efficiency is naturally improved a lot, and the probability of failure is also very low. Ending more than 20 days of retreat, Zhou Daoqing took out the harvested crystal jade spirit rice, without any side dishes, and directly cooked 2 large bowls to replenish the consumed spirit and spiritual power. Afterwards, after tidying up his hair and clothes, he left the underground cave. Looking at the bright sunshine on the island, Zhou Daoqing's mood also improved a lot. Look at the time, Uncle 17 and the second elder should have arrived. I don't know when they will return to the family. While thinking, the communication stone in his arms suddenly vibrated. Sixth brother, are you coming out? Second grandfather and Uncle 17 have been waiting for a long time. It's time to return to the family soon. Zhou Daoqing thought to himself that it was true. After a simple reply, he took advantage of the last time to go to the valley and handed a set of golden vine formation array plates to Meng Yuashan. Meng Yuashan and others need to stay in the valley. With a set of splitting gold formation and a set of golden vine formation to protect them, their safety is still guaranteed. As for the subsequent development, it is nothing more than continuing to practice, managing the planting and breeding industries, and occasionally cleaning up the surrounding monsters. When Zhou Daoqing finished all this and rushed to Zhou Daobai Island, everyone else was already here. Junior Zhou Daoqing, meet the second elder, meet Uncle 17. Before he could finish his words, Zhou Shoumu gave him a big bear hug. Oh, Daoqing, you have grown up so much. The last time I saw you, you were still wearing open-crotch pants. Ahem. Zhou Daoqing's face immediately turned cold, and he said seriously, Uncle 17, don't talk nonsense, we just met at the ancestor worship last year, I didn't wear open-crotch pants. And, when I wore open-crotch pants, you were not necessarily older than me. Pa! Zhou Shoumu slapped him on the back of his head. You dare to talk back, no matter what, I am your uncle. Looking at Uncle 17 who was not much older than himself, Zhou Daoqing was speechless. At this time, Zhou Daobai coughed a few times and reminded in a low voice, Daoqing, Uncle 17 brought us some medium-quality side dishes, red frost radish and white pear vegetables, so be careful with your words. Zhou Daoqing was stunned, and his heart couldn't help but feel warm. Uncle 17 was not talented, and he thought he had no chance to go further, so he often used the spirit stones he had saved to buy some daily practice supplies for his nephew of the Dao generation. Thinking of the days when he ate white rice, Zhou Daoqing was inexplicably moved, and hurriedly changed the subject and said, Uncle 17, don't say anything, you can let me wear open-crotch pants now. No, you don't need to ask, nephew will change for you now. Hey, it's not necessary, you are polite. That won't work, I, Zhou Daoqing, must wear it today, otherwise my Taoism will be unstable. Hey, why is it so? Why is it so? Cough. That the dry cough interrupted the tiger's words. The second elder rolled his eyes at the two and said seriously, okay, you are already married, and you are still fighting and quarreling, how can it be? Although the second elder was very pleased to see the harmonious relationship between the descendants of the family, but taking off pants in public is really a disgrace to the family. At the same time, looking at Zhou Daoqing, he was also a little strange in his heart. When did this dull gourd become so cunning? After being scolded, Zhou Shoumu was also helpless. He found that his sixth nephew had changed. More than twice as thick-skinned. Chapter 72 Selling to the Family. You are listening at novelfull.audio. On the side, Zhao Yunji couldn't help but shook her head. If she hadn't seen Zhou Daoqing's sinister and vicious scene, she would have been deceived, but to be honest, she really wanted to kick Zhou Daoqing just now. Although the second elder scolded him, he was still in a very comfortable mood, especially when he saw the harvest of white-scaled base. Dao Bai, Dao Cheng, Yunji, this time we harvested a total of 32 white-scaled base, all of which are of first-class quality, better than the family expected. The second elder said, with a hint of excitement in his eyes, according to the original budget, White Scale Lake only has one first-level mid-grade spiritual vein, and it is lucky to have a few first-level high-grade white-scale base occasionally, but I didn't expect that more than 30 top-grade white-scaled base were caught. Others may not know the reason, but Zhou Daoqing knows very well that this is not a first-order middle-grade spiritual vein at all, but a real second-order low-grade spiritual spring eye, not to mention the first-class white-scaled base, but also the second-class ones. Maybe they are all hidden in a corner, but they just haven't been caught. The second elder took out a storage bag, but said, White Scale Lake is managed by the three of you after all. The family will buy these white scale base at 30% of the market price. Second Grandpa, I have learned about it in advance, and one of them is intact and undamaged. The white-scaled base is worth 150 low-grade spiritual stones. There are 32 of them here, with a total value of 4,800 low-grade spiritual stones. I need to give you 1,440 low-grade spiritual stones. With that said, the second elder took out the spirit stone, divided it into 3 parts, and handed them to the 3 of them respectively. Zhou Daoqing looked at the 480 low-grade spiritual stones in his hand, and said with a helpless smile, "Second elder, the white-scaled base is kept in the lake, and we didn't bother to take it. It's really inappropriate to just take so many spiritual stones for nothing." Zhou Daobai also echoed, "It's true that second elder, we really have no reason to take this money." The second elder waved his hand seriously, "Rules are rules. Since you have eaten this bowl of rice, you must take this benefit and keep it." Seeing the serious attitude of the second elder, Zhou Daoqing said nothing more, but changed the subject and said, "By the way, second elder, do you still have any spiritual stones in your pocket?" That the second elder was shocked when he heard this, secretly covered his storage bag, and asked slightly nervously, "What do you want to do?" Zhou Daoqing was also dumbfounded. Perhaps in the heart of the second elder, he was still thinking about saving money to repay the spiritual stones for the foundation establishment pill. This is what the second elder has been doing for more than 10 years. All the spiritual stones earned in the hunting team will be handed over to the family. Zhou Daoqing waved his hand and said, "That's it. Some of the resources produced by Yunji Island and I are going to be sold directly to the family. Is it in compliance with the rules? Sell it to the family?" Second elder Zhou Chongping looked a little surprised. If it is sold to the family, the price should be slightly lower than the market price. "Are you sure?" Zhou Daoqing nodded and took out 30 jars of Xuanhuan brewing. "I originally planned to sell it to Beifeng City, and I had even reached an agreement with the shop owner. However, due to various reasons, I had no choice but to give up." When the second elder saw the wine jar, his eyes lit up and he sniffed. Members of the hunting team are out all year round. They are always faced with the threat of monsters and the dangers of the natural environment. They are under great mental pressure and often need spiritual wine to relieve the stress. However, the price of spiritual wine on the market is generally relatively expensive. If it is supplied all year round, you may not have to spend much money on it, so you will only occasionally buy 1 or 2 pots of first-class low-grade spiritual wine to satisfy your cravings. Now that he saw 30 jars of Xuanhuan brewing and smelled the fragrance of the wine, the second elder felt relaxed and happy. "Daoqing, I didn't expect you to choose the winemaking industry. And the smell of this wine doesn't seem to be an ordinary wine recipe." Zhou Daoqing smiled and said, "The wine recipe I accidentally obtained in Fengshe is called Xuanhuan. It is a first-class mid-grade quality. However, the brewing time is still short. If it is stored for a period of time, the aroma of the wine should be more intense. I'm being modest, the aroma of this wine is much better than other mixed wines on the market." That the second elder sighed and asked, "Daoqing, are you sure you want to sell it to the family? The family should only be able to offer 80% of the price. Zhou Daoqing has already made preparations. On the one hand, he is too lazy to go to Beifeng City, and on the other hand, he also wants to give back to his family. It is a big pity that our own formation cannot be used by the family in a short period of time. After all, if there is the assistance of formation, at least the number of casualties of the hunting team will be greatly reduced." He was also considering whether to reveal his identity as an array mage to his family elders. He could conceal it a little and say that he was the inheritance of a first-order array mage, but after thinking for a long time, he finally made no decision. In essence, although he is Zhou Daoqing's body, he is not Zhou Daoqing's soul. He may care more about his own safety than the interests of his family. After receiving Zhou Daoqing's accurate response, the second elder happily put away the spiritual wine and took out 1,200 low-grade spiritual stones, as if worried that he would take advantage. The second elder also wanted to make up for some of the family's contribution points, but was rejected by Zhou Daoqing. After all, rules are rules. Since you have made a decision, you must bear the consequences of this decision. Later, Zhao Yunji took out his silk inner armor, which also surprised the second elder. The quality of the inner armor is first-level mid-grade. It is extremely light, thin and tough, has strong defensive power, and can withstand water and fire attacks to a certain extent. If members of the hunting team can wear one, they can save their lives at critical moments. Moreover, this kind of inner armor is sold in the market or with defensive magic tools, and it has a very high value, so there is no need to worry about sales. Originally, there were 6 sets of silk inner armor, one of which was given to Zhou Daoqing, who is now wearing it. The remaining 5 sets are worth 300 low-grade spirit stones per set, and the total value is also 1,500 spirit stones. According to the market price, it is 1,200 spirit stones. After the transaction was completed, the second elder was moved and even embarrassed. After all, whether it is Xuanhuan wine or silk inner armor, once sold in the market, it can be sold at a price far higher than the price given by the family. Such an acquisition is indeed suspected of taking advantage of the younger generation. Finally, the second elder looked at Zhou Daobai and said, "Daobai, don't sell it to the family again. Otherwise the second elder will be criticized for taking advantage of you kids." Zhou Daokai showed a gentle smile and said, "I do plan to sell it to the family, but my things need to be handed over directly to the head of the family." The second elder immediately blew his beard and glanced at Zhou Daobai unhappily. "What is so mysterious?" "Even I can't know it." Zhou Daobai didn't say much, but just smiled meaningfully, which made Zhou Daoqing curious. After some delay, everyone set out on the journey home. In theory, with such an important family station here, Zhou Daoqing and the other 2 cannot all leave, and they must leave someone to stay here. But this time, several people have reasons to go back. Zhou Daoqing and Zhao Yunji have been married for a year, and they need to go to the Zhao family, and Zhou Daobai also has important items to hand over to the head of the family, and it seems to be of great importance, so he must hand them over in person. Therefore, the second elder left a few members of the hunting team to garrison outside Balan Lake and temporarily take over the place. Chapter 73 Road Blockage. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Returning to Tianqi Mountain, the familiar scene appeared before us again. The Zhou family monks coming and going showed the prosperity of the family. In the family meeting hall, Zhou Daoqing and 3 others stood in front of the head of the family and shouted respectfully, "I have seen Grandpa." Zhou Changyi put down the book in his hand, his stern face revealed a hint of gentleness, and said, "How have you 3 developed over the past year?" Zhou Daoqing and Zhao Yunji looked at each other, took a step forward together, and each placed 1,300 spirit stones in front of the family head. Zhou Changyi took a deep look at the 2 of them. It was not 1,000, not 2,000, but exactly 1,300 spirit stones. The attitudes of Zhou Daoqing and the 2 were already very obvious. "Daoqing, don't you plan to compete for the foundation building spot?" The head of the family asked in a deep voice. Zhou Daoqing is neither humble nor arrogant. The 4th brother is proficient in weapon refining, and the eldest brother has outstanding talent in cultivation. He is more suitable for this opportunity than me. It is more suitable for me to stay at Biscale Lake with peace of mind. "What about you, Yunji?" Zhao Yunji said calmly, "Daoqing's choice is my choice." Zhou Changyi was slightly surprised. After being silent for a while, he encouraged, "Daoqing has made rapid progress in cultivation, and is no longer weaker than your elder brother. Yunji is also a genius with 2 spiritual roots. You don't have to belittle yourselves. The path to becoming an immortal is to change your destiny. Fight hard. Follow Grandpa's teachings." In the past, Zhou Daoqing might still have fought for it, but today, this idea has become less and less. He believes that with his own accumulation, even without the help of his family, he can get a glimpse of the scenery of the foundation building period. Zhao Yunji was the same, unable to resist the injustice of fate, but the hidden strength shown by Zhou Daoqing gave her new hope. At least, she would rather Zhou Daoqing was ruthless and forcefully forced her to use spiritual magic, than Zhou Daoqing would really rather be regarded as a useless person who doesn't fight for anything. As the head of the family, Zhou Changyi naturally saw the changes between the 2 of them. A trace of worry could not help but appear on his brows. The most worrying thing was that the descendants of the family had lost the spirit of fighting. After saying goodbye and leaving, Zhou Daoqing and Zhao Yunji did not stay in Tianqi Mountain for a long time, but immediately set off for the Zhao family. Out of etiquette, Zhou Daoqing finally wanted to meet Zhao Yunji's parents. After walking for a while, Zhou Daoqing seemed to notice something was wrong, and asked with some confusion, Yunji, this shouldn't be the direction to Qingtai Mountain, right? Hearing this, Zhao Yunji couldn't help rolling his eyes and said, you really don't know anything about the Zhao family's situation. You can't blame me for this. You know, I don't know much about the Zhou family's situation. Zhou Daoqing spread his hands indifferently. Zhao Yunji helplessly held up his forehead, and the veins on his white forehead were pulsing, but after thinking about it for a moment, he found that this was really the case, so he replied helplessly, the Ma family has been pursuing the Zhao family fiercely. Not only the shops were oppressed and closed down, but even the monks of the Zhao family would be attacked when they left Qingtai Mountain. Therefore, after discussion within the family, they moved their ancestral home to Tianqi, near the mountains. So that's it. Zhou Daoqing thought thoughtfully, but he didn't expect that the Ma family was so perseverant that they didn't let the Zhao family go. Even Zhou Daoqing found it a bit troublesome to be stuck by such a piece of dead skin plaster. Although he didn't know much about the internal situation of the family, he still knew what the Ma family was doing, not only targeting the Zhao family, but also pursuing and intercepting the Zhou family. In particular, the Zhou family's Baiqi pavilion, managed by the fourth brother Zhou Daoqi, was said to have suffered heavy losses. Not only were the transportation routes destroyed, but many elders of the family were injured, and even an uncle who was a keeper of the family died unexpectedly. This year, Zhou Daoqi has not returned to Tianqi Mountain yet. It is said that he is dealing with this matter. Okay, if we move near Tianqi Mountain, the two families can also strengthen cooperation. Zhou Daoqing nodded in approval. After almost a day's journey, the two arrived at the Zhao family's new residence. It seems to commemorate the former ancestral land, so this new ancestral land is also named Qingtai Mountain. However, something unexpected happened during this visit to relatives. As soon as he arrived at the door of Zhao's house, Zhou Daoqing couldn't help but frown. He clearly noticed that the attitude of the Zhao family members after seeing the two people was very different. From what he expected, the monks of the Zhao family who were guarding the foot of the mountain saw Zhou Daoqing and the others arriving. Not only did they not show any respect, nor did they show joy, but their eyes were full of alienation. Zhou Daoqing frowned slightly, but he still said politely, Zhou Daoqing of the Zhou family and Zhao Yunji are here to visit relatives first. The younger Zhao family monk just glanced at Zhao Yunji coldly and muttered in a subtle voice, hey, it's just a sold woman, and she still dares to return to the Zhao family. Zhou Daoqing and Zhao Yunji are both strong men in the late stage of qi refining, and their ears are extremely good. Their expressions changed drastically when they heard these words. Zhao Yunji's face turned pale, and her delicate body couldn't help but tremble. She never thought that after she left for a year, there would be such discussion within the family. Zhou Daoqing's face was also extremely gloomy. The Zhou family saved the Zhao family's life, and now even asked them to move the family's ancestral home to Tianqi Mountain. I didn't expect the Zhao family to have such an attitude. The older Zhao family monk next to him also changed his expression slightly when he heard this, and secretly pulled the young man behind him. However, he also said with a cold face, Zhao Yunji, there is no need to visit relatives. Since you have married into the Zhou family, you have nothing to do with the Zhao family anymore. There is no need to come back to embarrass the Zhao family. Zhao Yunji's face was livid and his breathing was a little heavy. Uncle 14, what do you mean? Don't call me 14th uncle. The man's face was full of disgust, and he said without hiding, I am a genius of the second spiritual root of the Yun generation of the Zhao family. I will never shamelessly serve as a concubine of the Zhou family's younger generation for my own selfish desires. You should go back. Zhao Yunji's pupils contracted, and her slender knuckles under her long sleeves clenched tightly, and her breath was slightly disordered. After a long time, she barely calmed down and said coldly, is this my father's idea, or yours? This is the idea of the Zhao family, and the Zhao family, is not the Zhao family of you and your daughter. Zhao Yunji took a deep breath and looked deeply at the two people in front of her. One was an uncle and the other was a nephew. They were both former clansmen, but they were so unfamiliar at this moment. Daoqing, let's go. Zhao Yunji turned around and grabbed Zhou Daoqing and tried to leave. Just as she touched Zhou Daoqing's sleeves, she felt her hands numb, and the heavy Wu earth aura covered her body, and the breath as heavy as a mountain could not be shaken. Zhao Yunji's pupils contracted, and she saw Zhou Daoqing's eyes flashing with coldness. He slapped his palms slowly. His movements seemed ordinary, but they were full of unstoppable momentum. Boom. Bang. Wrapped in the Wu earth spiritual energy, in the incredible eyes of everyone, his palms slapped hard on the chest. In an instant, the old man's chest was sunken, his bones were dislocated, and his body flew backwards uncontrollably, carrying the young man behind him, and hit the door behind him hard, making a loud bang sound. Chapter 74 The Zhao Family's Attitude. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Puff. The blood spurted out in the form of mist, forming a blood mist in the air. The old man's face instantly turned pale, and he looked at the young man in front of him in horror. You, what are you going to do? Zhou Daoqing raised his eyebrows and found that the quality of the Zhao family's door was indeed good, and he didn't smash it directly with this palm. Without paying attention to what the old man said, he raised his right leg under the fearful eyes and kicked the old man's chest again, crackling. This time, the huge wooden door behind him burst open, and two bodies flew into the Qintai mountain road. The old man and the young man passed out immediately, their slightly twisted bodies lying on the stone steps, blood slowly flowing down the steps. Zhao Yunji was also frightened by this scene and looked at Zhou Daoqing in disbelief. Zhou Daoqing looked calm, groped for Zhao Yunji's stiff body, took out a silk handkerchief from his inner pocket, and wiped his blood-stained right hand. Unhurriedly, as if aware of the gaze, he explained in a calm voice, "He is not targeting you, but targeting you and your father's lineage, and even more so, my Zhou family. Go and see your parents, otherwise you can't leave today with peace of mind." Zhao Yunji looked stunned, as if he had figured something out. "Thank you, I'm just so angry." Zhou Daoqing shook his head slightly, indicating that it was okay, and then casually crumpled the silk handkerchief into a ball. He was about to stuff it back into Zhao Yunji's pocket, but Zhao Yunji glared at it angrily and slapped it away. "I have it. Don't stuff it back, it's all blood." Zhou Daoqing could only smile. As the mountain gate was broken, the Zhao family monks were also disturbed. In just a few minutes, dozens of figures came flying from the mountain. "Who dares to trespass on the Zhao family's territory?" Looking at the people who came, Zhou Daoqing's expression did not change much. The Zhao family was only a qi refining family, and the strongest was only at the 9th level of qi refining. Zhou Daoqing believed that even without the use of formations, a strong person at the 9th level of qi refining could not injure himself. If you use the formation, things may be simpler, but the subsequent cleaning work will be slower. After all, in order to cover up the formation, he might have to get rid of everyone present. Naturally, he was fine. He was just worried that Zhao Yunji would not agree. If there was a conflict, it would affect the accumulation of his innate purple energy, and the gain would outweigh the loss. And looking at it now, the few people who came here were only at the 8th level of qi refining, so there was really no need to be nervous. The monks from the Zhao family stepped forward. When they saw Zhou Daoqing and Zhao Yunji, their expressions changed, and there was a hint of coldness between their brows. Zhou Daoqing was keenly aware, and a trace of doubt arose in his heart. Why did the Zhao family's attitude change so quickly? Logically speaking, it was the Zhou family's help that preserved the inheritance of the Zhao family when the family was in danger. Zhao Yunji sacrificed for the family and was a hero of the family. Why is this happening now? The leader of the 8th level qi refining man looked at Zhou Daoqing with wary eyes, as if he did not dare to offend easily. Then, he set his target on Zhao Yunji and said coldly, "Zhao Yunji, what do you mean? You can't bring the Zhou family to destroy your own family." Zhao Yunji's expression was complicated, and he did not want to say anything more. He said directly, "Third brother, I went back to the Zhao family to visit relatives, but I don't know why I was blocked from the door. Is it their own initiative, or is it my father's intention?" Zhao Yunqian's expression changed slightly, and he probably understood what happened. Out of fear of Zhou Daoqing, he could only say coldly, "Third uncle has taken the initiative to step down as the head of the family. During his reign, he made many wrong decisions, which caused the family's power to decline and suffered great humiliation. He is a disgrace to the family and is unworthy of being the head of the Zhao family." Zhou Daoqing frowned. It was puzzling that the Zhou family was completely unaware of such a huge change in the Zhao family. Zhao Yunji didn't want to say anything and asked, "Where is my father now?" "You should go and meet the current head of the family first." "Are you deaf?" Zhou Daoqing interrupted impatiently, and the thick Wutu spiritual energy crushed him. Zhao Yunchen paused, couldn't help but take 2 steps back, and looked at Zhou Daoqing in shock. He was surprised to find that he could not see Zhou Daoqing's strength at all. "Just now I thought that the other party was just using special means to cover it up, so I couldn't see clearly. But now that I felt the terrifying aura in person, I immediately changed my mind. It can make the 8th level of Qi refining invisible, and the spiritual energy is so solidified that he can't think of any other possibility except the 9th level of Qi refining." "No. Impossible. You were clearly at the 6th level of Qi refining before. How could you break through to the 9th level of Qi refining in such a short period of time?" Zhou Daoqing frowned and took a step forward, his breath becoming firmer. Perhaps his attack methods are indeed seriously inadequate, but in terms of the thickness and solidity of the spiritual energy and the oppressive feeling of the aura, not even the 9th level of Qi refining dares to compete. This is the huge gap brought about by the 3rd level high-grade skills. The huge sense of threat made Zhao Yunchen swallow his saliva, and he could only say, "In the back mountain yard." Zhao Yunji's face was uncertain. "My father is from the former family. Even if he abdicates now, how can you arrange for him to live in the back mountain? This is the head of the family's decision." "Who are the contemporary families?" "Second uncle." Zhao Yunji's chest was rising and falling, and his eyes were full of dissatisfaction. Zhou Daoqing patted her shoulder. "Let's go and see what the situation is." As his breath calmed down, Zhou Daoqing took Zhao Yunji directly up the mountain. Along the way, there were many Zhao family monks, whispering in low voices that made people frown. Why did she come back? The one next to her is from the Zhou family's Dao generation, right? TSK, marrying a younger generation child for the sake of profit is really eye-opening. At the beginning, the former head of the family flattered his face and insisted on giving his daughter to Zhou Shurong, the first person of the Shou generation of the Zhou family. Do you know what the result was? There is such a thing. What happened in the end? TSK, in the end, he didn't want it. In the end, he gave it to an unknown junior of the Dao generation as a concubine. Being a concubine? What's the difference between this and a mortal woman entering a brothel? Humph, it's just shameless. It's simply a disgrace to my Zhao family. The ancestral home should be completely expelled. How can such a person be allowed to come back? Alas, Zhao Yunji and his daughter are really sinners of the Zhao family. If the head of the family was Chengchuan at that time, why would the Zhao family be insulted like this? Zhao Yunji's face was pale. She never thought that she was willing to swallow her anger for the sake of the family and give up her bright future as a tool for marriage, and the final result was actually like this. Zhou Daoqing also frowned. The spread of such information could not have happened spontaneously. There must be a big hand behind it, combined with the fact that Zhao Yunji's father was dismissed from the position of head of the family and was pushed to the edge of the family. Zhou Daoqing was more certain that the Zhao family must have undergone unexpected changes. Chapter 75 Causes and Consequences. You are listening at novelfull.audio. All the way to the back mountain, I saw 5 or 6 small houses in the distance. They were dilapidated and messy, and they did not look like the residences of immortal cultivators. Moreover, the soil nearby is extremely hard yellow sand and gravel, making it impossible to grow lingu vegetables. Moreover, the quality of the spiritual veins here is not very good. Although it has barely reached the first level of high-quality management through the Zhao family, the area covered is very small, and the spiritual energy in the back mountain is almost non-existent. The two frowned and walked forward. They saw a figure in the distance, picking a very low-quality plant called dogtail millet. It can grow even in soil with extremely harsh conditions, but the taste is extremely difficult to swallow. Can barely satisfy hunger. Zhao Yunji walked forward quickly and called out, "Third ant." The figure paused and turned around to look. When he saw Zhou Daoqing and Zhao Yunji, A complex expression of surprise and embarrassment appeared on his face. About a few minutes later, 7 or 8 people gathered in a larger, dilapidated room. The scene in front of him made Zhou Daoqing frown. The families living in the back mountain were exactly the same group of people with the former head of the family, Zhao Qingshan, as the core. It can be seen that these people are not weak in strength, and many of them have reached the late stage of qi refining, but they seem to be seriously injured, so their aura is sluggish. Father, what happened? Why did it turn into this? Zhao Yunji's eyes moved slightly. Zhao Qingshan has a withered face, dark skin and wrinkles. He has the strength of the 9th level of qi refining, but he coughs slightly from time to time and is very weak in spirit. When he heard the question, he couldn't help but smile bitterly and told the reason of the matter. Ahem, I am also responsible for this matter. I was forced to seek refuge with the Zhou family due to pressure from the Ma family. However, the head of the Zhou family was so clever that not only did I not get any benefits, but he also made you humiliate me. Being forced to marry a junior of the Zhou family made the family elders and clan members very dissatisfied and felt that it was a disgrace to the family. Ahem. Zhou Daoqing coughed twice, indicating that he, the rightful owner, was still here. Why would marrying him be a disgrace to the family? Zhao Qingshan smiled awkwardly and looked at Zhou Daoqing carefully. It had to be said that this was the first time the two met. After just 2 glances, Zhao Qingshan couldn't help but let out a sigh, and there was a glint in his eyes. As the previous head of the Zhao family, he had good experience and vision. Naturally, he could see that Zhou Daoqing's strength was extraordinary, and it was difficult for even him to see clearly. What shocked him even more was that this man's movements were extraordinary, and his aura had a hint of weight, which made people dare not underestimate him. If he hadn't often been in high positions, he might also have suffered from stage fright. Such a magnanimity would not be unusual if it appeared in a family leader who had gone through many vicissitudes of life, but it would be a bit surprising if it appeared in a junior. Even Zhou Daoqing himself was not aware of this. During this year at Balan Lake, as the leader of Meng Yuashan and other 8-level qi refining experts, he gradually developed a bit of the magnanimity of a superior person, showing dignity in his every move. Coupled with the 3rd-level high-grade skill Wutu Kunyue Gong he practiced, his overall aura became thicker and more steady, and even Zhao Qingshan felt the pressure. Zhao Qingshan couldn't help but nodded slightly and said with a hint of approval, I have long heard that among the Zhou family's Taoist generation, the eldest brother Zhou Daobai has the strongest talent in cultivation, and the old Sisi Daoqi is good at refining weapons. He is the family's key training target, and the others pale in comparison. However, I never thought that you, Daoqing, are no ordinary person. Zhou Daoqing is not an immature child, so he is naturally not affected by this flattery. He said calmly, thank you. Compared with the eldest brother and the 4th brother, I, Zhou Daoqing, am insignificant. I am a little surprised. As a member of the Zhao family, even if you have some decision making a few mistakes, but it won't end like this, right? Hearing this, Zhao Qingshan first nodded in approval, then looked slightly disappointed and continued. What I said is indeed true. Even if my reign has led to the decline of the family, I am still the head of the family and the only 9th-level qi refining expert in the Zhao family. Then why is this happening? The second uncle is only at the 8th level of qi refining, how can he control the family? Zhao Yunji was also very puzzled. Hearing this question, Zhao Qingshan showed a wry smile and said, if you want to be the head of the Zhao family, the 8th level of qi refining is naturally not strong enough, but your second uncle is also somewhat capable. He successfully broke through to the 9th level of qi refining half a year ago and won over many family elders impeached me. Zhao Yunji frowned and said, are you going to give up the position of head of the family? Zhao Qingshan showed a bitter smile, what if I don't give in? There are constant rumors in the family. The people have long been tired of my weakness and incompetence. What they need is a head of the family who can lead the family to glory. Zhao Yunji couldn't help but said, but it was you, my father, who led the family out of the predicament and revitalized the family with sericulture technology. Did they forget so quickly? Maybe I forgot, maybe I didn't forget, who cares? Zhao Qingshan's eyes dimmed and he said, no matter how glorious it was, the decline of the Zhao family in the later period is an indisputable fact. Someone has to bear the fault, isn't it? Zhao Yunji was silent and didn't say a word for a long time. Zhou Daoqing nodded silently when he heard this. Since he is sitting in the position of the head of the family, exercising the authority of the family head and controlling the rise and fall of a family, he should bear the final result regardless of success or failure. This is responsibility, regardless of personal ability. Since the Zhao family has reached this stage, Zhao Qingshan must bear the responsibility as the head of the family. After a long silence, Zhao Yunji couldn't help but ask, "What happened to your injury? Could it be that it was also caused by second uncle?" Zhao Qingshan just smiled and shook his head. "When the family moved half a year ago, I was attacked by bandits by accident and was unfortunately seriously injured, so I resigned from the position of head of the family and moved to the back mountain to recuperate." The plain words contain a lot of information, such a coincidence to encounter bandits, and such a coincidence to be seriously injured, and even being driven to the back mountain where spiritual energy is scarce and resources are barren. How could there be such a coincidence if there is no big hand secretly operating? Zhao Yunji could naturally hear it, and said with anger, "Second uncle actually acted like this, really without any blood relationship?" Ahem. Don't blame him, as the new head of the family. He needs to establish prestige by suppressing me, and it is also necessary to completely remove my confidence. For the development of the family, this is beneficial. Ahem. Zhou Daoqing listened silently, and also had a deeper understanding of the character of this father-in-law. As the former head of the Zhao family, perhaps he does have some means and abilities, but these means and abilities are very limited. He lacks a ruthless heart and tends to be weak. These are all facts that are laid bare. For having come to this point, perhaps no one else can be blamed. While thinking, footsteps suddenly came from outside the window, and a group of people were seen walking from a distance. Chapter 76 Zhao Chengchuan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The person who came was tall and dressed in gorgeous brocade clothes. He looked somewhat similar to Zhao Qingshan, but there was a hint of gloom and anger between his brows. Seeing the person coming, Zhao Qingshan couldn't help but change his face slightly, and said in a slightly low voice, "Chengchuan, Yunji just came back to visit relatives. What do you want to do with a large group of people here?" Zhao Chengchuan didn't care about Zhao Qingshan at all. He walked up quickly with a smile, bowed respectfully, and said in a flattering tone, "Zhao Chengchuan of the Zhao family has met the young master of the Zhou family. Master, please apologize." Then, he looked at Zhao Yunji with pretense of complaint and said, "Yunji, Mr. Zhou family is coming to visit. You don't even know to inform me, so that the family can prepare in advance. You see, the temporary preparations now may have to be made. Poor hospitality." Zhou Daoqing raised his eyebrows slightly, secretly thinking that this man was really sophisticated and smooth, and his personality was completely opposite to that of Zhao Qingshan. No wonder he could become the head of the Zhao family within a year. "Come on, Mr. Zhou, the environment here is not good. Follow me back to the main hall of the Zhao family. I have prepared a banquet. Please forgive me if the reception is not good." As he said that, Zhao Chengchuan smiled and made an invitation. Faced with such a situation, Zhou Daoqing just glanced at this person unhurriedly and was not dazzled by a series of sugar-coated bullets. With such a flattering attitude, how could Zhou Daoqing not see what the other party meant? But Zhou Daoqing is by no means a playboy, and he naturally has a scale in his heart. Facing the invitation, Zhou Daoqing had no expression on his face and showed no intention of moving his legs. He just looked at the middle-aged man in front of him coldly, which made Zhao Qingchuan's hair stand on end. Zhao Qingchuan observed his words and asked tentatively, "I wonder what you need, sir. Just tell me. I will do my best to complete it." Zhou Daoqing snorted coldly, looked at Zhao Qingchuan indifferently, and said calmly, "Your Excellency, there is no need to pretend, but you should explain to me why I, Zhou Jiahao, don't know about the change of head of the Zhao family." Hearing this, Zhao Qingchuan frowned vaguely and secretly thought that today's matter was troublesome. He thought he could get through with just a few words, but he never expected that the junior Zhou family in front of him was so sharp and immediately noticed what he was most worried about. Sir, this is what happened. Zhao Chengchuan was sweating slightly on his forehead. Just as he was about to explain, he was directly interrupted by Zhou Daoqing. Humph, the Zhao family, as a vassal of my Zhou family, lives in the territory of my Zhou family and is protected by my Zhou family. However, such an important matter as changing the head of the family was not reported to the Zhou family. Zhou Daoqing's face was as cold as a cold pool, and his voice gradually became louder. Whose idea is this matter? Is it to cause trouble under the eyes of my Zhou family? That the cold words pierced the thoughts of everyone present. Whether it was Zhao Qingshan or Zhao Chengchuan, their hearts stagnated and their breathing became a little heavier. What Zhou Daoqing said was serious enough to convict the Zhao family of ulterior motives and deliberate rebellion. There are also rules in the world of immortality. Since small forces choose to surrender, they will lose part of their sovereignty and need to be controlled by powerful forces. One of the most important points is that the abolition of the speaker is reflected in the replacement of the head of the family. From the beginning to the end, the Zhou family recognized the head of the family as Zhao Qingshan, and had always been in contact with Zhao Qingshan. Zhao Qingshan was equivalent to the Zhou family's representative in the Zhao family, and was the person who truly had rights. However, without the permission of the Zhou family, the Zhao family actually changed the head of the family, and the Zhou family actually had no knowledge of such an important matter. This matter can be big or small. At the very least, I just forgot to report it. At the most serious level, can we directly conclude that you, Zhao Chengchuan, are dissatisfied with the Zhou family and trying to rebel? When Zhou Daoqing pointed out the key point of the matter, Zhao Chengchuan broke into a cold sweat and was even more surprised. He didn't expect the young man in front of him to be so sensitive. Sir, please don't misunderstand me. I, Zhao Chengchuan, have absolutely no such intention. The replacement of the head of the family is also a joint decision within the family. It's just that I have been too busy these days and forgot to report to the Zhou family. Zhou Daoqing took a step forward, his eyes were sharp, and he shouted sternly, "Do you think I will believe it? Do you think my Zhou family will believe it? Zhao Qingshan is recognized by my Zhou family as the head of the Zhao family. It is your turn to replace him." Zhao Chengchuan looked ugly and didn't know how to answer for a moment. Zhou Daoqing continued, "Zhao Yunji belongs to me, Zhou Daoqing, and even more so to my Zhou family. If you let the rumors go unchecked, are you scolding our Zhou family for being shameless and shameless?" That the sound became louder and louder, like vibrating thunder that echoed in the ears, struck in the heart, and made people shudder. Zhao Chengchuan turned even pale and hurriedly denied, "No, no. I don't dare. Young master, you have misunderstood. How could our Zhao family do such a thing? I hope young master will learn from it." On the side, Zhao Qingshan also noticed that something was wrong and hurriedly walked forward. "Daoqing, Chengchuan really has no intention of this, and I took the initiative to give up my position when changing the head of the family." When Zhou Daoqing heard this, the corner of his mouth suddenly twitched, and he looked at the cheap father-in-law speechlessly. This sudden and untimely explanation almost ruined everything Zhou Daoqing had planned. He understood at this moment that it was no wonder that he had reached this point. With such a weak character and unable to clearly see the situation, he was indeed not the head of the family. Zhao Chengchuan keenly seized the opportunity and climbed up the pole. Yes, it is indeed the eldest brother who took the initiative to give up his position. I also couldn't bear the family to be in dire straits, so I took on this responsibility. Zhou Daoqing's forehead veins twitched and he said, "You are just trying to fool your elder brother with your words. Do you really think that I, Zhou Daoqing, am a fool? Don't dare." Zhou Daoqing already understood that it should be impossible to use this reason to convict Zhao Chengchuan today. On the one hand, Zhao Qingshan has broken the momentum accumulated before and gave Zhao Chengchuan a chance to breathe, and to put it bluntly, Zhao Chengchuan is a master at the 9th level of qi refining after all. What he fears is never Zhou Daoqing, but the Zhou family behind him. If he is pushed too hard, no one knows what the outcome will be. Zhou Daoqing's eyes flickered, thinking about the appropriate way to deal with it. Suddenly, an idea flashed in his mind. Zhou Daoqing took a step forward and approached Zhao Chengchuan. "This matter is not a small matter, but it always needs a suitable solution. I don't know if the Zhao family leader wants to solve it here, or go to my uncle's place to solve it. That when Zhao Chengchuan heard this, his eyes flickered slightly, and he heard the hint of concession in the words, so he hurriedly said, the head of the Zhou family has many things to do, so there is no need to trouble him at this time. Zhou Daoqing nodded slightly and said, I don't care about other people. Zhao Qingshan is the person chosen by my Zhou family to talk about the matter, and Zhao Yunji is my Zhou Daoqing's woman. They cannot suffer losses for no reason, do you understand? Chapter 77 5,000 Spiritual Stones. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This. I understand. Zhao Qingchuan gritted his teeth and immediately understood what the person in front of him meant. He was trying to trick himself, either pay the money and the matter will end there, if not, the head of the Zhou family will judge it himself. Zhao Qingchuan knew that this matter must not become a big deal. He had seen the head of the Zhou family with his own eyes. He was a man with deep thoughts and ruthless methods. I am afraid that he would never hold back in dealing with this matter, and the consequences would only be worse. After thinking about it like this, Zhao Qingchuan gritted his teeth and said, Sir, I am indeed at fault for this matter. I can compensate you with a sum of spiritual stones. I don't know what amount you think is appropriate. Zhou Daoqing thought about it and said, 5,000 spirit stones. 5,000. Zhao Qingchuan's eyes widened and he looked at the young man in front of him in disbelief. He never expected that the young man had such a big appetite. Sir, I'm afraid this number is too much. Our Zhao family is just a small cheer refining clan, so I'm afraid we can't afford it. This is your Zhao Qingchuan's business. If you can handle it, this matter will be settled. If you can't handle it, huh? At this moment, an untimely and honest voice sounded, Daoqing's son-in-law, I don't think Qingchuan did it intentionally, and 5,000 spirit stones is indeed too much. How about you let him go this time? There was silence for 3 seconds. Several people's faces turned red, including Zhou Daoqing, who looked like he had eaten shit, and the veins on his forehead couldn't stop pulsing. Zhao Yunji couldn't help but hold his forehead, his chest heaved deeply, obviously he was very angry. Zhao Qingchuan is also full of black threads. He is obviously trying to give me a leg up and wants to resolve it peacefully, but why the hell are you trying to get involved? Immediately afterwards, Zhou Daoqing, Zhao Yunji, and Zhao Qingchuan almost said in unison. You shut up. Zhao Qingshan was so frightened that he took a step back. You guys. Zhao Yunji couldn't bear it anymore. He grabbed his father and said with an apologetic look, Daoqing, I'm sorry to bother you. I will kill my relatives right away. You are busy with your business. When Zhao Qingshan was forcibly taken away, Zhou Daoqing breathed a sigh of relief, looked at Zhao Qingchuan and said, we can continue. Zhao Qingchuan also felt relieved, remained silent for a moment, gritted his teeth and said, 5,000 spirit stones, that's fine, just 5,000 spirit stones. I hope that the young master will keep his promise and this matter will be over. I, Zhao Qingchuan, am by no means a person with ulterior motives. I hope young master can rest assured. Zhou Daoqing glanced at him meaningfully, and was secretly surprised. 5,000 spirit stones was not a small amount, especially for a small cheer refining family like the Zhao family, which might have been accumulated over several years. Being able to tell this number is enough to show Zhao Qingchuan's courage. After deliberation for a few seconds, Zhou Daoqing remained calm and simply replied, I, Zhou Daoqing, always speak my mind, and that ends here. Zhao Qingchuan breathed a sigh of relief and looked at the young man in front of him with slight approval. Unexpectedly, facing the huge wealth of 5,000 spirit stones, this man did not even blink. This made him even more certain that the humble junior from the Zhou family with a Dao name in front of him was definitely extraordinary, which made him secretly curse the information for being inaccurate. Originally, I thought that the two most outstanding people of the Zhou Jiadao generation were Zhou Daobai and Zhou Daoqi, but now it seems that is definitely not the case. The Zhou Daoqing in front of me is actually even more extraordinary. As a strong man at the 9th level of Qi refining, he could vaguely feel Zhou Daoqing's terrifying strength. Although he could not fully detect it, from the aura revealed, He knew that the young man in front of him was a strong man who was not weaker than him, at least this is true from the perspective of the strength of the spiritual energy. It is extremely thick and long, no worse than the 9th level of chi refining. Not only was his strength extremely terrifying, his demeanor and temperament were also far beyond those of his peers, which made him secretly surprised, and at the same time he couldn't help but be envious. Among the descendants of the Zhou family, there were so many talented people at the same time, while the Zhao family only had a bunch of people with nothing but wine and rice bags. The difference was really huge. At the same time, a question suddenly appeared in his mind: why didn't the head of the Zhou family marry Zhao Yunji to the generation Shouzi? Didn't you marry two Taoist geniuses? Instead, he chose Zhou Daoqing, who seemed to have ordinary qualifications. Is it really a deliberate attempt to humiliate the Zhao family? Or maybe they think Zhao Yunji is not worthy of them. A dignified genius with two spiritual roots, excellent appearance and talents, there is a high probability that this is not the reason. There can only be one real reason. Zhou Daoqing, the true number one of the Zhou family, has talents and abilities that are not weaker than Zhao Yunji, and can truly suppress Zhao Yunji, and judging from today's situation, Zhao Yunji was indeed suppressed to death, without any arrogance of a genius with two spiritual roots, and followed Zhou Daoqing like an ordinary little daughter-in-law. With all the doubts in his mind cleared, Zhao Chengchuan looked at Zhou Daoqing with even more respect. Zhou Daoqing naturally doesn't know what Zhao Chengchuan is thinking, but even if he knew, he would only give him 4 big words: you think too much. Marrying someone of the Dao generation was because the family leader had confused the seniority. Marrying him, Zhou Daoqing, was because he was afraid that Zhao Yunji would affect the better Dao Qi and Dao Bai. That's all. Tens of minutes later, Zhao Chengchuan found a storage bag on the ground. Zhou Daoqing took a casual look and saw the neatly arranged spiritual stones, emitting a bright light, which made people's hearts flutter. Forget it, this matter is over. Zhou Daoqing did not stay long, and left the Zhao family directly without even caring about Zhao Qingshan and others. No matter from which aspect, there was no need for him to have too much respect for Zhao Qingshan. There was a big difference in status, and Zhao Qingshan's weak and incompetent character also made Zhou Daoqing unable to have any respect, even for Zhao Yunji. The relationship with his father was not deep. When he was young, Zhao Qingshan devoted all his energy to the family and lacked care for the family, which led to the death of Zhao Yunji's mother in an accident. Later, due to various decision-making errors, Zhao Yunji, who did not protect the second spiritual root, was forced by the Ma family and finally had to sell his daughter to survive. No wonder the Zhao family cultivators would pull him down and choose the more shrewd and decisive Zhao Qingchuan. All the way back to the Zhou family, Zhou Daoqing did not return to Belan Lake directly, but looked at the storage bag full of spiritual stones, with a lot of thoughts in his mind. After hesitating for a long time, he still walked towards the inner hall of the family. Standing outside the door, Zhou Daoqing frowned. And after thinking for a long time in his heart, he knocked on the door. "Who is it?" The voice was long and heavy, with unparalleled majesty. "Grandfather, it's me, Daoqing." He can act recklessly in the Zhao family, but in the Zhou family, especially in front of the Zhou family patriarch, he is still a little scared. On the one hand, because of his own blood and memory, he has a natural sense of awe. On the other hand, it is also because the means and submission of the Zhou family patriarch are by no means comparable to Zhao Qingchuan and Zhao Qingshan, and the difference is far more than one level. Chapter 78 Family Heritage. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Zhou Changyi was sitting in the center of the hall, with smoke rising from the incense burner beside him, and the scroll in his hand was gently flipping, and a peaceful voice sounded. "What do you want to see the great-grandfather for? Didn't the trip to the Zhao family go smoothly?" Zhou Daoqing was stunned and couldn't help but smile bitterly. Before he said it, the matter had been guessed. This great-grandfather was really extraordinary, so he didn't hide it and roughly told the situation of the Zhao family. After listening, Zhou Changyi frowned slightly. "Zhao Qingshan. Zhao Qingchuan. I didn't expect this to happen. It was indeed my negligence. But since you took the initiative to find me, it seems that the matter has been dealt with almost." Zhou Daoqing nodded, organized his words, and said, "I asked Zhao Qingchuan to bribe me 5,000 spirit stones and promised him that this matter would end here. 5,000 spirit stones. Zhou Changyi's face changed slightly when he heard this number. Even for the Zhou family, this is definitely not a small number. Daoqing, since you have made a decision, why did you come to Grandpa? Zhou Daoqing pondered for a moment, a cold light appeared in his eyes. Humph, how can it end here? But due to his status as a 9th level qi refining, it is not easy to compete with him directly, so I have to resort to this last resort. 5,000 spirit stones. If he can't take it out, just take this opportunity to warn his Zhao family, so as not to cause these moths. If he really takes out 5,000 spirit stones, then there is really a problem. Zhou Changyi looked at his grandson thoughtfully, with a meaningful look in his eyes. He was a little surprised and asked with some consideration, "Oh, what do you mean?" Zhou Daoqing raised his drooping eyes and said, "The Zhao family has been oppressed by the Ma family for many years, and many industries have been destroyed. The family is unable to make ends meet and can't even pay the family salaries. Moreover, half a year ago, they moved to our Zhou family area and spent a lot of money. If under such circumstances, the Zhao family, can come up with 5,000 spirit stones, which means that he must have a big problem." Zhou Changyi listened, his dim eyes brightened a little, and a cautious look appeared between his eyebrows, and he also noticed the abnormality. "So, Daoqing, what do you mean? Although Zhao Qingshan is weak and incompetent, he is easier to control and is beneficial to our Zhou family. Zhao Chengchuan is too sophisticated and smooth, and is a disaster." Zhou Changyi stared at Zhou Daoqing with a hint of surprise in his eyes, as if he cared more about his grandson than the affairs of the Zhao family. "Daoqing, you are very good." Zhou Changyi looked deep in his eyes and praised sincerely after a long time. It seemed that for the first time, he really knew this inconspicuous grandson. Zhou Daoqing was slightly surprised. In his memory, this great-grandfather was always serious. He didn't expect that his great-grandfather would praise people. It was really rare, however. He didn't care too much, because his mind was now completely on the 5,000 spirit stones in his pocket. Before he decided to report the matter, Zhou Daoqing had been hesitating. This was a full 5,000 spirit stones. If he really had to hand it over completely, he would be reluctant. However, after hesitating for a moment, he still took out the storage bag from his pocket and handed it over with gritted teeth. "Grandpa, this is 3,000 spirit stones." 3,000. Zhou Changyi said with approval in Soviet eyes, "Didn't you say 5,000 just now?" "Ahem, Grandpa, the wind was strong on the way back, and the wind broke the storage bag, and I lost 2,000. Zhou Daoqing said with a straight face and a calm heart. Zhou Changyi twitched his lips, looking at Zhou Daoqing with a serious face, and felt that his forehead was full of black lines. "Whose storage is this? The quality is so poor. Grandpa will take you to ask for an explanation." "Ahem, there is no need to be so troublesome." Well, the storage bag was blown open, and the items inside fell into the space turbulence. There is nothing we can do about it, but it happened that 2,000 pieces were lost, which is really strange. Zhou Daoqing widened his eyes and said, "Grandpa, you should know my character. I have always been resolute and upright, and I am frank. I never lie to others." Zhou Changyi couldn't help but pursed his lips and looked at this grandson with thick eyebrows and big eyes, quite helpless. "You also fooled Zhao Chengchuan in this way. Did he believe it?" "Believed it. Well, this matter is originally for you to solve. Take the 2,000 spirit stones." Zhou Changyi smiled bitterly and shook his head helplessly. He couldn't control this grandson for a while, so he had to let go. Zhou Daoqing smiled happily, bowed respectfully, and then said goodbye and left directly, fearing that the master would regret it. Originally, handing over 3,000 spirit stones was enough to make him feel distressed, but this was also a helpless move. The affairs of the Zhao family must not be treated as a joke. Once some accidents happen, destroying the Zhao family is a small matter, but affecting the Zhou family will be troublesome. Moreover, as a vassal of the Zhou family, the Zhao family originally belonged to the family. It was appropriate for him to take 2,000 spirit stones. If he took all of them, it would be unreasonable. Watching Zhou Daoqing leave with satisfaction, Zhou Changyi sighed silently, this kid. Don't let my Zhou family's style go astray. But the affairs of the Zhao family should be taken seriously. When talking about the Zhao family, the originally peaceful face suddenly showed a trace of ruthlessness. The eyes hidden in the shadows became deeper. After a long while, Zhou Changyi suddenly sighed and said slowly, Uncle San, I can't seem to understand Daocheng. A few seconds later, an old man walked out of the shadows behind the hall. His temples were gray due to the erosion of time, but his posture was unusually upright, and his aura was as vast as the abyss, giving people an unshakable feeling. This person is the real pillar of the Zhou family in Tianxi Mountain, the only elder of the Yong generation, a third-level foundation building expert, and the current patriarch of the Zhou family. Xuanhuan walked out slowly, his eyes drooping calmly, and after coughing twice, he said, the Dao generation has indeed produced several extraordinary children. Before, there was Dao Bai Daoqi, and now Daocheng has shown extraordinary talent and determination. This is really God's blessing for my Zhou family. Zhou Changyi couldn't help but sigh, Daocheng is a child. I watched him grow up. Although he was mature and sophisticated since he was a child. But he didn't really enter my field of vision. It's just that in the recent period of time, he suddenly changed a lot. It seems that, after he became a Taoist partner with the Zhao family girl. Ahem, maybe he is hiding his shortcomings, maybe he is awakening, everything changes. The human heart is even more treacherous, who can really see through it? Zhou Changyi looked up sadly at the words, looking at the misty Tianxi mountain outside the window, his cold eyes revealed tenderness, and he couldn't help asking. Then, Patriarch, who do you think can lead the Zhou family in this generation of Dao characters and lead the family for the next thousands of years? Zhou Yonghan stood with his hands behind his back, and a smile appeared on his wrinkled face. If you can't tell, then keep watching. We old men will support the family for a few more years, and it's time to hand everything over to the children. Then, he sighed again and couldn't help but sigh. Chapter 79 The Slaughtered Family. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It's a pity that none of the Shouzi generation can take the lead. I hope that the Daozi generation can grow up as soon as possible. Yes, Dao Bai, Dao Qi and Dao Cheng are each stationed on one side. They have shown extraordinary abilities. They are now, no longer weaker than some seniors. That's good, old man, it's almost time. Third uncle, you should return to the cave as soon as possible to cultivate. I will ask the tribe to buy some heavenly materials and earthly treasures that extend lifespan. No need, there is no need to waste spiritual stones on me. I am going to buy the foundation establishment pill within 3 years. It is time to pass it on to the family. 3 days later, Zhaojia Qingtai Mountain, a scream breaks the calm of dawn. Then, 3 low death knells rang, echoing throughout the entire platform mountain. All the Zhao family members who heard the sound woke up from their sleep and rushed to the family hall. This kind of bell is imprinted deep in the heart of every clan member. It will only be rung when an important family member dies. 3 bells ring, which means the death of a family leader or patriarch. The impact on a family is undoubtedly devastating. It would be fine if he died of old age, but all the Zhao family members knew in their hearts that the current head of the Zhao family was only in his prime, so how could he die of old age? When other clan members arrived, the room of the family leader Zhao Chengchuan had been completely sealed off. All the clan elders who witnessed the scene looked gloomy and extremely ugly. They knew the situation was far more serious than they imagined. In just one night, without everyone knowing, the head of the family in the core area of the Zhao family died tragically without any sign of struggle. This is one of the 2 strongest people of this generation in the Zhao family who has reached the 9th level of qi refining. If they want him to die quietly, who should take action? They know that even a strong person who fails to break through the foundation building and reaches the 9th level of weapon refining will definitely not be able to achieve this level. There is only one possibility for the murderer, and that is the foundation building period. This put a heavy layer of gloom in everyone's heart. On that day, all the clan elders held a discussion that lasted all day, and finally made only one decision. The previous head of the family, Zhao Qingshan, will continue to take over as the head of the family. However, even if such a decision is made, all the Zhao family members still remain distant, disdainful, and even resistant to Zhao Qingshan, the head of the family. Just because everyone doesn't say it doesn't mean everyone is a fool. Why was Zhao Qingshan killed? Who was he killed by? What did the murderer want to achieve? No one dares to answer these questions, but everyone's mind is like a mirror. The Zhao family already had their own answer in mind, and made the final decision based on the outcome the other party wanted. Zhao Qingshan did not feel any joy when he sat back as the master of the family. Instead, his face was full of sorrow and helplessness. He understood that after this incident, there was an irreparable gap between himself and his tribe, and he himself was just a puppet after all. What made him even more sad was that the young man was so decisive and ruthless and had no intention of letting Zhao Chengchuan go, which made him feel scared. Zhou Daoqing has already embarked on the journey back to Balan Lake. He doesn't know what happened to the Zhao family, but even if he knew, it wouldn't be too surprising. Now that he has reported the matter to the head of the family, he has been mentally prepared. Keeping someone like Zhao Qingchuan is really a time bomb, so it is better to clean it up as soon as possible. Daoqing, it's getting dark. Let's find a place to stay for the night. Zhao Yunji looked at the environment. It was close to the uninhabited mountains, covered with dense forests, and most of the area was undeveloped primitive mountains. Even though they had been on the road several times, the two of them still did not dare to be careless and would choose to camp on the spot every night. Zhou Daoqing nodded. Well, just to be safe, let's have a night's rest. The two cooperated tacitly, looking for a suitable cave to spend the night, and hunting monsters for food. However, after Zhou Daoqing explored the surroundings, he couldn't help but frown, with a vague premonition in his heart. Yunji, do you feel anything strange? Zhao Yunji frowned slightly when he heard this, stopped what he was doing, and after careful inspection, he didn't notice it, and asked, No, what's wrong? Zhou Daoqing did not let down his guard. The characteristics of Wu Tu Kun Yugong gave him a sharper perception in the wild environment. No, there's the smell of blood in the air. Zhou Daoqing's eyes were sharp, and with his keen perception, he quickly locked in a direction. The earth-yellow magic power emerged from his body, and he grabbed the golden Guvine formation, hooray plate in his hand, ready to take action at any time. Seeing this situation, Zhao Yunji did not dare to be careless and quickly put himself on guard. Yunji, I remember when I passed by here before, there seemed to be a small chi-refining family nearby, right? Zhao Yunji looked thoughtful and said, There is indeed a small family nearby. I have met their hunting team before, but I don't know the location of their family's residence. Zhou Daoqing frowned, thought for a moment and then said, Go over and take a look, there may be something going on. Deliberately lowering his footsteps, he quickly shuttled through the darkness, relying on the faint light of the luminous stone to grope in the direction from which the smell of blood came. After walking for several miles, Zhao Yunji's eyes narrowed slightly. At this distance, she could also clearly feel the smell of blood in the air. Although it is very light, it is extremely vivid. Zhou Daoqing also became more and more sure of his guess. The smell of blood wafted from a very far away place and he could still detect it, which was enough to show that the amount of blood was huge. After walking about 10 kilometers, a flash of fire suddenly appeared in the dense jungle. The smell of blood in the air was extremely strong, mixed with weak spiritual energy flowing into the nose. Peeling away from the jungle, a scene of a rundown family appeared in front of them. This should be a small chi-refining family, similar to Zhao Yunji's Zhao family, which occupies a small first-level mid-level spiritual vein and lives in this mountain range. But at this moment, a large number of houses and buildings collapsed, and the palaces that were not tall and prosperous had been turned into ruins, burning in the fire and making crackling sounds. Under the reflection of the burning flames, the crimson blood on the ground flowed like a river, soaking the grass, trees, and stones on the mountain, creating a scene of purgatory on earth. Zhou Daoqing couldn't help but turn pale when he saw this scene, and Zhao Yunji couldn't bear to look directly at it with his eyes closed. Is this the destruction of an entire family? Who is so cruel that he would do such an unconscionable thing? Zhou Daoqing's eyes were deep and he felt a chill on his back. In this situation, there were probably only two possibilities: either he is an enemy seeking revenge, or he is an evil cultivator. After a brief observation, Zhou Daoqing preferred the latter, because not only were all the immortal cultivators left, but even the ordinary mortals under the mountain were slaughtered. This was definitely not something an enemy could do if they were seeking revenge. Moreover, he vaguely discovered that most of the corpses had disappeared, leaving only blood on the ground. This was also a method only used by evil cultivators. Chapter 80 Small Family Inventory. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Daoqing, do you want to go over and see if there are any survivors? Zhou Daoqing shook his head and did not make a rash decision. Instead, he hid in the dense jungle and carefully looked at the situation on the mountain. He could not be sure whether the evil cultivator who committed the crime had left. If he rushed in rashly and bumped into the evil cultivator, the consequences would be disastrous. Facts have proved that this approach is wise. In the second half of the night, a cultivator in a dark red robe flew directly from the top of the mountain. Although the distance was far, he could still feel the fierce and violent aura on his body, which made people shudder. Zhou Daoqing was relieved until he finally disappeared in the vast mountains. At the same time, he was secretly shocked. The cultivator who could fly in the air must be a foundation-building strongman at least. Fortunately, he did not approach rashly. Even so, Zhou Daoqing waited until the early morning. After dawn, he explored many times to make sure that there was no one, and then he entered carefully. The scene inside was even more horrifying. Only some of the bodies of the elderly were left, staring at their homes with their eyes wide open, but the bodies of the more spiritual men, women and children had all disappeared. A lot of blood was flowing, and even the spiritual energy in the air was mixed with a touch of red. What a cruel method! Even ordinary mortals were slaughtered. It's simply insane. Zhao Yunji looked at all this with a gloomy face, and felt a sense of oppression in her chest. Zhou Daoqing was not much better. His feet stepped on the blood-soaked stone slabs, making a click sound. Arriving at the top of the mountain, this is the residence of the immortal cultivators, and there is no one left. Zhou Daoqing said, go in and see if there is anything left. After all, it is a family, and the evil cultivators will not be too careful even if they search. With that, the two walked into the interior of the temple and searched the warehouse for storing cultivation resources. Among them, the Sutra pavilion had been completely destroyed, and the fire burned all the scrolls, but after a long search, Zhou Daoqing found a jade slip of higher quality. This is a set of magic spells of first-class quality, called Quicksand Spell, which can turn the soil in a nearby area into quicksand and reduce the enemy's movement speed. Powerful spells are rare. Not to mention that it is a first-class spell that can be practiced by chi-refining cultivators. Zhou Daoqing naturally accepted it without hesitation. In the warehouse where cultivation resources are stored, most of the precious items have been taken away, and there is no spiritual stone left. Only some ordinary resources are scattered on the ground. Among them, there are a lot of first-class low-quality spiritual rice, a large number of first-class monster materials, and some of the most common elixirs and talismans. The value is not high, adding up to about 500 spiritual stones at most. Zhou Daoqing has a lot of storage bags, and he is too lazy to pick and choose. He collected them all at once. Taking them back will always be useful. Apart from these two places, the two did not find any other valuable items. After thinking for a while, Zhou Daoqing came to the top of the mountain near the spiritual vein. If there is a place where important materials are most likely to be stored, it must be near the spiritual vein. For example, the Zhou family dug out a special storage room in the hilltop where the spiritual spring is located to store the most important cultivation resources, which can be nourished by the rich spiritual energy to maintain the quality of the resources. The same is true for underground caves. All construction is around the spiritual spring. Zhou Daoqing carefully looked at the surrounding environment, looking for places where there might be secret rooms, but unfortunately there was no harvest. Zhao Yunji speculated, after all, this is a chi-refining family. The resources are not as rich as the Zhou family. Perhaps they will not deliberately build such a storage room, just like my Zhao family. Zhou Daoqing didn't care and asked back, your second uncle easily took out 5,000 spiritual stones. Where do you think these spiritual stones are hidden? This. Zhao Yunji thought about it and found that it made sense. Besides, your Zhao family has just moved here, and the facilities are not yet complete. You know to store property separately, not to mention the power that has been developed for many years. As he spoke, he leaned down to observe the ground. After that, after roughly determining the direction, Zhou Daoqing stepped on the ground with one foot, and then used the Wu Earth spiritual qi to cover the ground and explore the possible cavities inside. Soon, an area with echoes was determined, but it was far away from the ground and went deep into the bottom of the spiritual vein. After a simple investigation, Zhou Daoqing determined the entrance, which was the cliff below the top of the mountain, behind an extremely remote and tricky rock. If you don't check it carefully, you won't notice it at all. As the huge rocks here were lifted, the dark cave entrance appeared in front of you, and there was a faint light inside, which was the luminous stone embedded in the stone wall. I found the right place, Zhou Daoqing said with a little surprise, and he was very excited. This is a batch of the highest quality inventory in a family. Even if it is just a small qi refining family, the resources accumulated over the years should not be underestimated. That is, the evil cultivators are inexperienced, otherwise they would never miss such a benefit. Zhou Daoqing's eyes were filled with joy, but he was still very careful. He attached the Wu Earth spiritual qi to the passage and explored the situation ahead to ensure that there was no hidden danger, but he was indeed overthinking. In such a hidden place, even few people in the family knew about the secret warehouse, and there were not many traps set up. He walked smoothly all the way to the deepest part, and a room of not too large area appeared. There were a lot of luminous stones inlaid on the top of the head, illuminating this area. Zhou Daoqing's heart couldn't help but beat after just one look. He didn't need to calculate carefully to know that there was definitely a lot of wealth here. In the corner, there are two exquisite boxes. When someone opens them, an extremely rich spiritual energy rushes to the face, and neatly arranged spiritual stones come into view, which makes the two people stunned for a while. Zhou Daoqing made a rough calculation and found that one box contained about 3,000 low-grade spiritual stones, and two boxes contained a full 6,000. This may be all the spiritual stones stored in this small family. What is even more exciting is that there are more than a dozen medium-grade spiritual stones, which emit a deeper light and have a richer spiritual energy. One medium-grade spiritual stone is worth 100 low-grade spiritual stones, but the actual value will be higher, because some high-level formations require high-quality spiritual stones to activate. Or spiritual boats, puppets, special magic tools, etc., most of which require high-quality spiritual stones with higher quality and more concentrated spiritual energy. In addition to spiritual stones, there are also many cultivation resources stored here, with various attributes. Although the quality is not particularly high, it is worth a lot of money. Among them, Zhou Daoqing found the earth-attributed natural treasures he needed, such as earth essence grass and earth spirit fruit, which could be used to assist in cultivation. However, he was not willing to buy them because he was short of money. Unfortunately, no second-level materials were found here, and most of them were common items on the market. Zhou Daoqing was not polite and stuffed them all into the storage bag. The value of these materials alone exceeded 1,000 spirit stones.